after injuring his knee. That cut block by Bengals tight end Thaddeus Moss on Sunday night. Now, you guys know this. This block was basically the big debate on Twitter. Was it dirty? Was it not dirty? Graz, you talk to coaches, you talk to front office personnel every day. What was their reaction?
Yeah, didn't detect much of an uproar over this. I mean, I didn't hear anything really from the Giants to indicate that they were upset. I didn't hear anything from, people I talked to who know Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't think this was received that way in terms of it being. It's the kind of thing, if it was perceived as dirty, there would have been a lot of howling about it yesterday, and I just didn't hear that from people inside the game.
Hey, Tim, so a lot of people are asking, should the NFL outlaw the cut block? What do you think?
Well, I would just say this. One, it's not illegal and it's not dirty, and it's really what it is. It's split zone. Like, that's the run, and everybody in the league runs it. It's how everybody in the league blocks it. I would say this, and I have not heard this come up yet. That block is actually outlawed in college football this upcoming season. Like, it's a rule change this year. It's not allowed in college football. And so I do think that, as we talk about, are things trickling up in, pro football, meaning we're seeing more Saturday offenses on Sunday, or do things, technically trickle down? The truth is they both influence each other. College football has made this an illegal block. I think ultimately it ends up being an illegal block in the pros. The question ends up being is that now you have a tight end,
with the offense,
call him 250 pounds, sprinting across the formation to kick out a defensive end who maybe weighs 270 pounds. That is a really big collision for a guy that is going to stay up. And so now all of a sudden you're trying to take the head out of the game. That's a huge collision with two large guys. And so I think the NFL, has to think about, hey, protecting the knees is one thing, but they've also been trying to take the head out of, a lot of these plays as well in terms of, significant collisions.
All right, let's bring the debate back in here. Harry, give me your thoughts. You guys play.
Yeah.
You're a receiver.
Yeah.
That dirty? Not dirty.
No, it's not a dirty play at all. And I have been that guy in a wing position coming back to slice a defensive end on the line of scrimmage. And I'm going to tell you right now, I weigh 180. I'm not going head up and face-to-face with a defensive end to block him. That play probably happens 15 or 20 times throughout an NFL weekend. And it's a common play. Now, I think what happened on the play, you can actually see Thaddeus Moss, him thinking entirely too much, Kayvon Thibodeaux thinking too much and not playing the cut block the correct way. Sam Otto, you play defense, y'all have that red ball out there, right? And coaches roll that red ball to defensive players to do what? Mimic a cut block and utilize your hands and make sure that these type of plays don't happen. But to say that it was cowardly and that it was egregious, I don't think so at all. Now, I will say this. A lot of people want to ban this. I have an issue with a guy like Chris Godwin catching a football across the middle of a football field and not seeing a defender coming, and that defender sawing his leg off and tearing his ACL. So if we're going to outlaw that cut block, are we going to outlaw these type of tackles as well? Because that's where I'm at with it.
You're a defensive guy. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a clean play. And mind you, I played defensive end for 9 years, outside linebacker for 9 years, my entirety of my NFL career and also in college, right? So the last, 13 years. And in high school, too. It's one of the most common blocks. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux wasn't ready for it. I think you could tell he was like, is he going to cut me? Is he not? Number one, you need to be ready for it. But the bigger picture, I think the conversation people are having is, should it be outlawed, right? And then should the play like Chris Godwin be outlawed? We've seen quarterbacks, you can't go low anymore, you can't go high anymore. Well, if this play should be outlawed, which some people could argue that it will, then you should also argue that going low on receivers should be outlawed. We also took out the play where, remember, DBs would go low on O-linemen? Yep. You can't do that anymore. And so for me, I'm okay having the conversation. I just don't like the fact that it's so much in retrospect. Because if the play was played correctly, this would be a non-conversation, right? This play, the 15, 20 times every weekend that this play happens, it's a non-conversation until it's played incorrectly, then it becomes a conversation. So if we want to, let's make a change, but let's make it across the league, not just, because this guy got hurt for defensive ends. No, receivers as well.
And at the end of the day, football is football. And we got to understand, football is going to be played. It's going to be a physical sport. Let's not just try to outlaw everything just just because something like this happens.
Raj, you got to find a word?
The legality of the play depends on where on the field it happens. The league expanded the zone in which cut blocks are illegal last year. So to Tim's point, it's about momentum and speed. The further away you are from where the snap takes place, the more illegal it is, right? Because you get up more speed. Right? So that play is legal where it took place. But if it happened outside the tight end box or more than 5 yards down the field, it would not have been.
Good point.
Probably were, abbreviated practices. So what are we talking about? Tom Brady missing 5 practices? So I actually don't think this is that big of a deal in terms of if Brady's ready or if the guys around him are ready.
Graz, where do you stand on this?
I think it's the toughest test in one specific way because I just don't think – I think this is the worst roster he's had since he joined the Buccaneers, right? And not that it's a bad one, but – I think it's got a few more question marks than last year and the year before. But saying that, I mean, Brady's not scared of tough tests. He tests well. He has solved problems in the past. He's been on Patriots teams that started the season slow, and he figured out how to make it work with different groups of receivers, with different types of players around him. So I don't think there's any reason to be concerned in the standpoint of Brady. This is why you have Tom Brady. This is the benefit of having Tom Brady as your quarterback, is he helps you solve problems as they come up. His experience and his ability to sort of galvanize what's around him is what you pay for at this stage in his career.
So we're talking about tough challenges. We already talked about the offensive line issues, Harry. Is it that offensive line that's going to keep Tampa from winning another Super Bowl?
It's a possibility. But one thing we love about Tom Brady, and I don't want to leave Byron Leftwich out of this as well, is that when circumstances change, you adapt accordingly. And when you have a veteran quarterback and you have a guy as your offensive play caller like Byron Leftwich, who's played the game and been in the NFL for a long period of time, you're going to adapt accordingly and make sure that you're straight.
All right, Tim, listen, you know the position. You know Tom Brady loves to have a clean pocket. Is that offensive line going to keep Tampa from winning another Super Bowl title?
Look, it's obviously, a bit of a question mark, which is why we've talked about it, seemingly all off season, and then it's gotten worse for them because of injuries. But look, Harry mentioned it early, and I think it's on the money when you think about Brady. He gets rid of the football. What really good quarterbacks do, and in Brady's case, a great quarterback, what they do is they get rid of the ball, and so all of a sudden, the right guard whiffs, but it's okay because the ball's out and it's completed. Like really good quarterbacks and great quarterbacks make the guys around them better by cleaning it up. And I think that Brady does that, especially early part in the season.
Probably the best thing for Tampa, though, not only Brady back at practice, but how about Evans? Mike Evans was back at practice for the first time since early August. Chris Godwin also participated in team drills as well. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, guys, take a look at this. Tom Brady also addressed his absence on Twitter by posting a video of this motorcyclist here promoting his underwear brand. Brady said, quote, wasn't on The Masked Singer last week. Was wearing a mask, though. Sam, your thoughts here, bro?
My thoughts, this is great advertisement, right? Everyone was asking, was he on The Masked Singer? You're going to Fox, all the things. Okay, now we know you weren't on that. But, it seems like people want to go buy the underwear now. Go buy the underwear, everybody.
What do you think, Graz?
On the website.
Graz, what do you think?
I don't know if this is going to get me to buy TB12 underwear, but... Yeah, I don't know. Brady on social is almost as good as Brady the football player.
I'm with you. Let's get out to New York, where Giants rookie Kayvon Thibodeaux has a sprained MCL. At their initial testing, they're on that defensive end's right knee. Now he's expected